Hello, hello, hello. It's your girl Saran. I am back in the building. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm in a bit of a different location due to technical difficulties, but I am back. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about lifetime income potential. Let me check and make sure you can hear something that I'm saying. Okay. So, anyway, happy Monday. Happy fun day, right? Everybody thinks it's Friday, but it's Monday. Monday is the fun day. So, hey, Relevant TV, welcome back. But before we get started, I have a new affirmation for you this week. It is simple. It is every day in every way. I am getting better and better. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. Here I like to start off with a motivation because everything is mindset first before it's anything else. We have to see it and feel it in our minds, know it there before it ever will happen for us. And the first thing we have to do is change our belief system about ourselves because somebody lied to us and told us we weren't worth it, we weren't worthy, that we couldn't create wealth, that we couldn't do certain things, but the reality is you can. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about what I like to call lifetime income potential. So I've been on the road the last couple of weeks traveling and a lot of different things. And one of the things that I challenge a few audiences to is one, do you even know how much you are worth? As far as an income producing asset, you are an income producing asset. So that's why today we're going to talk a little bit about lifetime income potential. So the simplest way to think about it is how much money do you make per year and multiply that by the number of years you're going to work. Now that number will slightly change because we get higher salaries. Hopefully you're getting higher salaries, at least cost of living adjustment. Some people are ambitious and changing careers and their salaries are going up exponentially quickly, or maybe they're in sales and they get commission, you get high rates. But just pick a baseline number. So simple way, and I've talked about this on other videos, but today we're going to talk about specifically this way. So let's say you made $100,000 for your entire career, right? Let's just say over the years that you work, and you worked 40 years. Not the same job or whatever, but you worked 40 years. You earned income for 40 years. So if you made $100,000 a year and you earn income for 40 years, then you have now, your lifetime income is $4 million. So you're $1 million asset. But what have you done with that income, right? And then I ask people too, do you think your income is common or uncommon? Because we don't know. We think a lot of people think their income is common because the people that they hang around are making around the same amount. And then some people think their income is uncommon. But mathematically, only very few people are even in the top income earning potentials brackets. And so you got to take a look at it from this perspective. Where do you fall? And so I'm going to give you some numbers. I'm going to break this down for you really quickly. So give me 1 second. So if you think your income is uncommon, then I'm going to break it down for you mathematically. So if you make $42,000 or more, you are within the top 50% of income earners. And you're probably thinking, top 50%? You are in the top 50% of income earners if you're making at least $42,184. And this is based on IRS statistics. So that means there's a whole another 50% of the people, of the population, not making at least $42,000, right? Now, if you make, say, around 85,000-ish, you make about 85,000, you're in the top 25% of income earners. Wow. I mean, and that's not that common. So you're in the top 25 at 85%. Now, if you're to be in the top 10%, you're making around $150,000, $152,000 a year. So if you're making about $152,000 a year, you're in the top 10% of income earners. You're in the top brackets for people earning money in America working at a job. Now, to be in the top 50%, You're making $220,000 a year. To be in the top 1%, you only need to be making over $548,000 a year. And I say only because you have to get used to making big numbers, common numbers for you if you're going to envision yourself making more money. Now, who do you think pays the most taxes in those brackets? And all those income levels I named, they're all uncommon because, again, 50% of the people aren't even making $42,000 a year. Well, believe it or not, the people who are paying the highest taxes are the people that are just in the top 50% making $42,000 a year. You're paying effectively 97% of the taxes, right? If you're making about $85,000 a year, you're in the top 25%. Well, you're paying 88% of the taxes. It's still kind of high, right? If you're making 100, if you're at that top 10% making 152, you're paying 73% of the taxes. And that doesn't mean that's your tax rate. That means that's the amount of taxes that are collected by the government. You're paying that portion of it, right? If you're in the top 5% making 220,000, you're paying 62% of the taxes. But if you're in the top 1% making $548,000, you're paying 42% of the taxes. So, I mean, my question is, wouldn't you want to be in the lower income tax paying bracket and just make some more money? I mean, it sounds super simple, right? Hey, Marcy. Hey, Regina. I made it sound super simple, but these are the things that we have to know about our income. So if I just told you that if you made $100,000 a year and you are going to make $4 million over if you work 40 years, if you just average it out to that amount, but of that $100,000 you're going to make, because you're between the top 10 and top 25%, you're effectively going to pay between 73 and 88% of the taxes from that 4 million. So that means you may not even get to keep most of it, because a large portion of it you can just chop off, 1.5 million to 2 million of it for taxes alone. Then that alone is a reason to talk to someone who will help you understand the way that income works and the way that you can do legal things to reduce your taxes and get out of the game of playing the game of trying to get back to getting a refund at the end of the year. You're already paying way more taxes than you probably want to pay. And now you're going to let them hold the money all year long and then give it back to you. Make it make sense. The math don't math. So the thing is that we have to really just take a closer look at that. And I don't want you to feel like you have to do that alone, because that's what the work is that we do in the financial industry. A trusted financial person will work with you to figure out what it is going on with you and what can be done, right? So the big thing too is that you may want to reevaluate your perception of where you stand in terms of this income, because you need a tailored plan to work with you. You need somebody to work with you to tailor something for you, and not just getting information from someone giving you general advice from TV or even from YouTube. I'm talking to you on YouTube. And that's why I don't really try not to give people general advice, because I don't know what's under the hood, or you're reading the magazine articles and books and stuff like that, and they're all great. And don't get me wrong, I'm in magazines, I'm writing a book, I want to be published too. And, those things matter. But the idea is to really take some time to have somebody look at what you have going on, because your income above $42,000 a year is uncommon. And so you need a plan to help you move forward. And if you think that, I only make $80,000 a year, well, you're in the top percentage making $80,000 a year. You're in almost the top 25% making $80,000 a year. So you want to get some advice. So you are obviously, will benefit from working with someone to help you. Now, the big thing is that you want to just take a look at getting yourself in a place where you feel comfortable to make sure that you're planning for retirement, for your kids to go to college, for you to have vacation and enjoy life, for you to enjoy the the Starbucks if that's your thing or whatever it is. But you want to get focused on what it is that brings you joy so that you can start to enjoy the non-financial things that comes with being financial stable, like slow mornings, like a peaceful day, like a peaceful day that has no interruptions and no madness and no craziness. Then maybe you don't have, and maybe not a chaotic life, and being able to choose what you want to do for the day instead of being forced or feeling pressure to do something that may be outside of your nature that you want to do, or dealing with harsh bosses or whatever your thing is, right? Everybody's not the same. And so, but figuring that out, putting together a plan that's going to give you peace of mind that you know is focused on you and what you want and your needs. And so that's why I wanted to talk about lifetime income potential, because we don't know what we don't know about our incomes. And so if you don't spend time to get to know yourself and where you stand mathematically, statistically, then you will always be at the shorter end of the deal, because I know what everyone's value is, but guess who else knows what your value is? The bank, the lenders, the creditors, the people who want to sell you stuff. They know your value. And the problem is that because they know your value and you don't know your value, you can easily get sold on things that may not be best for you. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against sales. I'm not against things being sold, because guess what? If nobody sold me this laptop, I wouldn't have it. If nobody sold me this mouse, I wouldn't have it. If nobody sold me this house, I wouldn't have it. So those things are important, but making sure that you're able to know what it is and who you want to be with your finances is probably the most important thing you need to be able to do. And that comes with time and effort and actually understanding your income potential as you go forward. And let's not mention that some of y'all out here working 2 jobs simultaneously or 3 jobs simultaneously, and you're really bringing home the bag, as they say, because you might be making 80 at one, 70 at another, 60 at another, because you're not juggling small jobs. You're not at the mall. You're juggling big jobs that give you the flexibility to be able to do multiple things simultaneously. But what are you doing with it? How are you leveraging it? How are you putting yourself in a place where you can make that money grow, and you're not just accumulating it in a regular savings account that's not giving you the bang for your buck that you had hoped, right? And you're not just throwing your money at debt. One of the challenges I often issue in my face-to-face events is if I gave you $100,000 tomorrow, how would you leverage it? What would you do with it? And here's the rules. You can't pay off any debt for anyone. You can't pay any household bills or anything like that. You can't pay off anything for the kids. You have to leverage it. You have to take that $100,000 and make that $100,000 worth $200,000, $400,000, $600,000. You have to leverage it. And so when I take away the things that most people say they would do with money, they have no idea what to do with it. You cannot pay bills. Can't pay student loans. Can't pay the house off. Can't pay the car off. You can't do any of that things. But I gave you $100,000. What are you going to do with it now? And that's the challenge. What would you do with $100,000 extra dollars that if I gave it to you right now, this fictitious $100,000? What are you going to do with it? That's not pay the bills, pay for college, buy groceries, pay credit card bills. What is it that you would do to make that work for you long term? And that's the way we have to start thinking when we start shifting ourselves from a spender, a saver, to a wealth creator. And I've talked about that many times on this platform. So we have to get ourselves in the mindset of what can we do? And if you don't have the answers, that's why you have to get into the room for events and things like that, that when you see me post them, or you see me promoting them, or you see other people promoting them, because they're telling you ways to do it, but you want to be able to maximize that. So I didn't have a lot today, but I wanted to come back because I had to miss a few times due to travel and sickness. I won't lie, the pollen took me out this season with a sinus infection. I didn't have a voice for like a week. So, but I'm back in the streets, as they say, the internet streets, and I'm here. If you have questions, Feel free to join my group, joinsaran.com. Feel free to share it. If you want to meet with me, go to meetsaran.com. It's super simple. I would love to get connected with you. But that's all I have for you. So peace, love, and light. Let's get your money right. Bye.